Looks like we are going live. Hey everybody, we're a little early to start the streams. First and foremost, if you are here early and see this, we are still having problems streaming to YouTube, so I'm gonna have to take a day and just do a bunch of tests and see what's going on. I have no idea why that's happening. I've done some high quality stream tests and they work great, and then every time we get together on a Tuesday night, it's like there's a problem. So we're gonna get started up here in the next 10 minutes. Right now there's just a standby screen up, but we're gonna be playing some Final Fantasy 11. We'll do some introductions here very shortly. So just stick with us for just a moment while I mute us, and we'll be right here. Hey everybody. So first and foremost, apologize again to anyone who wasn't here before that we're still having problems with YouTube, so we're gonna get that fixed. But tonight we're doing some Final Fantasy 11. A lot of us, I guess, a lot of us have played this. My time playing was very short, so for me, I am a follower tonight, and I'm gonna start by introducing our group leader for the night, which is Micah, who is a avid Final Fantasy fan, has played quite the amount of Final Fantasy 11. So, Micah, welcome tonight, and thank you for leading this one. And please understand that if I complain about a lot of things that led to this night, that I'm not ripping on your favorite game. I'm just telling stories. We also have. I'm going to start by saying we have Mrs. Nathan Napalm. Winner is here. If you're not familiar with Winner, welcome, Winner. And of course, then she brought Mr. Nathan Napalm with her. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with him, if you've ever seen him in any videos. He seems to be a decently big deal around these parts. Nathan, welcome to another community game night. Awesome, man. And we also have Mirth, who came on board with us in EQ, a friend of Nathan and Winter. And like the plague, we can't get rid of him, but we're happy to actually have him. So welcome to the chat. Welcome to another community game night, Mirth. So again, for those that have not played Final Fantasy 11, we will try to talk about some of the mechanics in it. One of the big things we do when we do these game nights like this is we do games that we want to talk and kind of loop into Pantheon a little bit. So Pantheon talk is encouraged from the chat. We'll do our best to actually be able to answer things and hopefully tie it in and talk about what we'd kind of like to see maybe replicated in Pantheon. But I guess we'll see how that goes tonight and how we play. I am playing with a controller. I think a majority of us are playing with a controller right now, except for Micah, because he's like God mode pro at this game. So we'll see what happens with that. I tried to play with keyboard and mouse, and I almost had an aneurysm. So me and Nathan had quite the interesting night last night in MMOs, issues and such. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. All right, so I am in town. Are we all walking out of the gate here, I take it? Or who's sending the invites here? Okay. I'm accepting now. So I should be in. Is everybody else outside of the gate here, I'd imagine? Okay. So for anyone who hasn't played this game or doesn't remember playing it, the craziest thing is they really tried their best to keep this a Final Fantasy game. So you can't hate on them too much for really driving it to be a Final Fantasy game, so to speak. But it's just really weird in terms of an MMO for me. Oh boy, he's dead again. Oh, are you two together? Okay, so just hit on your controller, hit X. It'll bring up on the right hand side the menu in the top right, and then you go to party. And if you're in a party, disband, or it may say you have one that you have one going. So, what's up, Braun? Is anybody having any problems with the stream? Is it running okay? Is there any issues at all with the feed? You guys seeing it okay? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Wait, what am I doing here? Config, which one? Okay. There we go. That look better? All right. Kind of. Now, is it again for anybody watching? Is it running smooth? Because I'm seeing it a little laggy, but that might just be because I'm uploading and stuff. Is everyone else look okay, or is it jittery? That's strange because I'm not having. I am streaming at a pretty high level. It's still pretty choppy for you guys. It looks like it's clean now. I didn't do it. I think I was just in the game. Okay, so Micah, you're gonna lead us here. Did we have everybody in the party? Is everybody together? Looks like we're just missing. That's strange. See if I can.
Gosh.
Okay, can anybody, we should have it kicked in here in a second. Can anybody, you guys want to talk and make sure they can hear you?
Hello, hello, can you hear me?
If you guys can hear Nathan or anybody else, please let me know. I just changed some settings, so we should
don't
have
move
everybody
where
coming
I'm
through
coming
one
for you.
channel.
I just died.
Can hear Nathan. Okay, so
Okay,
everybody
well.
should be good now. Sorry guys, again, I'm set up for YouTube and it's supposed to be great. But it looks like I'm gonna have to be doing a ton of different work here, or we may have to switch to Twitch, so Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So once again, Micah is going to be running this tonight. So Micah, you lead the way with where we're heading.
Yep, I'm just waiting for Winter.
She's coming
We're
out
just
now.
gonna.
I think I ran to the wrong gate. I think I ran
Oh,
to a
I see
different
you.
gate.
Yeah.
And there she is. Cool.
I died. Something hit me, one-shotted.
You
So-
teleported to us.
All right.
We are going to go to the dunes, which I think should be fine with your, even though with your levels. So you do have to be careful because this is a run and it is a dangerous run.
Well, we just got to get our tank up there, Nathan, right?
Yeah, I've got provoked, baby. We're good.
I don't do much of anything.
And
the
by
one
the
thing
way,
with-
guys, on this server, provoke didn't work yesterday, so I was nervous. I was like, "Oh man, come on!"
Yeah.
I will try to take us the more safer route.
I'm going to up my my bits going out.
Oh, dude, you're gonna double the bits, man.
Going up to 65,000.
Dang, man, that's a lot of bits.
Sometimes that helps. So if anyone's getting any jittery, that might help speed it up. I'm getting a full green stream, so it should be okay. But again, if it gets really bad, guys, just let me know. It should kick over here in a second.
Actually, let's test this real quick.
What are we doing? Killing something?
I want to see if I can level sync.
Oh, true.
Is it going to do it for all of us?
Yep, it level synced us. Let's try a hair here and see.
It'd be funny if they killed us.
Yeah.
I'm
Do it.
gonna
Get it,
pull
Nathan. Get it.
Hang on. Okay.
Oh, man.
Hang on, he got too far away.
It's very weird. Again, yeah. I think it was Cerulean. You said that you kind of jumped out of this game pretty quick. I did the same thing because I was playing on Xbox when it came out. I had purchased it, and when I was playing, that was pretty far after.
Winter and Mirth, how was your experience?
I got 9,
I got
Which is-
6.
which is pretty
I
average.
got
for
16.
Okay.
That. Yeah, we're good. Should be fine.
That was very easy though, so
Yeah.
we'll see. It should be okay.
I lied. I got 4.
You got 4. Dang, dude, rolling in the XP.
Nice.
I unsynced. It just takes a second here. So now any beastmen like orcs or goblins that we're going to pass will aggro on sight.
Wait, you removed sync?
Yeah, it's just
It'll
got
take
to
a
take,
second.
it takes 30 seconds to,
So we
just
don't
so we
want
can
the
get there.
sync? Oh, just get there. Okay.
yeah.
But
It's
it
a
was
little
synced
dangerous.
to level 10, didn't it? Or we synced down to them?
No, we synced to 10. Of course, we're all at the same level.
Well,
It will
I
unsync us
am
when we
10.
zone anyway.
Yeah, okay. We're unsynced now, looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as I was saying, I kind of jumped out of this game pretty quick because when I started, it was pretty late in the game, but it came out for a console, so I was like, you know what, I have Xbox, I want to try this. So what happened is I tried it, but at the time I was playing, it seemed like everybody
it's
Got a
was,
goblin on us.
it seemed like everybody was Japanese, and didn't speak English. So
Yeah, it depends on the server you're on.
I don't know if I picked a bad server, but yeah, it was rough.
Hope we have an orcish mesmer on us too.
All right, let's just focus this goblin down, and then we'll get the...
I don't see the orc. Oh, there he is.
Don't worry, I'm tanking. Feels like EverQuest again. So Cerulean says he thinks he tried around 2006. My opinion at the time is I tried it before WoW, I probably would have liked it. You know, it doesn't matter what MMO you've ever played. Like, this game played and still plays more oddly and different than any MMO
Yeah,
ever.
that is so true. It's its own world.
What's up, Sully?
like-
Sully just said, hey, stopping by before bed.
Hey, Solitude.
Yeah, I gotta get this YouTube stuff fixed.
Hey, while Solitude is in the chat, please explain what happened with the SO. That's her jam.
Oh, I did. I've talked to her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I talked to her. She said she feels bad, but I told her it's not her fault. Like, I want to play the game with her. So I did get a response today from my ticket, in ESO, and they said, "Hey, do this, 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 and this, and if you did that, send us your log. If you already sent the log, let us know." I did all that. I said in my initial message I had done all of the things they told me to do, and I sent the log. So I just replied, "I did all this stuff. It was in my first message, and I already gave you the log." No response since. So, not so pleased right now with Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, that's a hot mess.
I really want to play it, but it looks like I'm going the refund route here shortly. What are we doing here? Anything?
I was gonna set the thing. It's in Bastokian control. We can't. Never mind.
You can pay 100 gil and set your home point here.
Yeah, that's true.
Who has 100 gil? We get rich? Just don't let me die. I'll blame Mirth if I die, because he's the healer.
Yeah, so I can heal for 10.
Okay, well,
And
heal a
you
bunch of times.
You have 130.
Yep, so you gotta heal me 13 times. Let's go. We should
That
be
will
fine.
get better the more you heal and the more you heal up.
Yeah, well, obviously. He's just a low level.
He's just a little Taru.
Little guy, little hills. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense.
Yeah, why aren't you carrying me in your pocket?
I gotta tell you, it was funny. So when I started this up, my graphics were set like just horrible. And I'm like, this game looks really bad. And I'm sending like screenshots to people and they're like, why does your game look so bad? So I realized I could turn everything up. And I gotta tell you, for a game of its age, it's very pretty.
Yeah. There's some really cool zones in this game too. I always thought the
Watch out,
mobs were awesome.
guys.
We
We
got
have
an
a
orc on
grappler
us.
coming at you.
There's a Goblin Weaver too.
Are they both on us or no?
Well, I've got the grappler on me, but you know, provoke. I gotta wait for it to come back.
Alright, I'm taking grappler out.
And there's a weaver. We got 3 on us.
Okay,
Another
just-
weaver.
We'll just kill this one and
He's
then
on
we'll kill
Mirth.
the weaver. We should be fine. With our group.
Mirth is gonna go down though.
Is he being attacked? Get the goblin weaver
Yeah.
then that's on him.
I'm gonna try to
Mirth,
pull it
try not
off.
to
Should
run
have
too
provoke
far.
now.
That's the Mirth special though in EQ. Something's on me, I'm gonna run real far. We got it. Is the other one on you?
Other one's
No,
on
I
me.
provoked it, but it's not on me yet.
And you're a red mage, right, Micah?
Yep. Just like in retail. I was
So
a pro
since
red
we
mage.
want to always try to keep these semi Pantheon related, Micah, let's start with you because this is an odd game. I mean, that's not a knock on it. I don't think calling it an odd game is a knock. It's just very different. It came out and sort of tried to pave a completely different way. Zoltar goes, "What job are you playing? Fast food worker or insurance salesman?" So, quick story on that before I get back to Micah. He today in Pantheon.
Just real quick, come over
Yeah.
here and just sit down to get back some HP and MP.
I don't take damage, bro.
If you're using a keyboard,
and I don't have MP.
flash sit. That does nothing.
Yeah, you have to
Flash heal
heal. Yeah.
or click it with your left.
I must have a. Yep, I have poison, so I can't heal.
So again, what I was saying was
I don't have cure poison yet.
Zoltar was
I don't have the money.
expressing how much he dislikes Final Fantasy and especially how they call them jobs. So I said I was going to message Brad and ask him if he could name the Pantheon classes careers. So what I was saying there, and Zoltar, welcome. Micah, you've played this game the most, and I'll have some input too. Now, it's very different. It's very unique, as we were saying. It's very odd. There's not much like it, and I would say not much has even tried to copy it. Even 14 is much different than this game. What things from this game, with as much as you've played it, do you think Pantheon could take from a classic standpoint and put into Pantheon that would be welcomed by that community? Is there even anything?
Oh, well, the one thing I liked about this game more so than a lot is the way gear was handled. Because everything was horizontal progression, you had no vertical progression. So like once you got to level cap, it was just all about getting different gear sets. And then you could have, some of the gear like relic and mythic weapons would take years to build. but you could use them like indefinitely. I mean, they were good until they raised the level cap again, but now they're back on top. So, in retail currently.
That's
So,
interesting. I think a
yeah.
lot of people in the Pantheon community have talked pretty openly about, wanting gear to matter and wanting specifically like gear that you quest for a long period of time, making it useful for a long period of time. Now they did that because you said gear was pretty horizontal once you got to cap. There wasn't like constant progression, and I hate to use this term because I know it wasn't in it, but there wasn't like an eye level up, eye level up, eye level up every tier. It was just you were max level. Here's the gear. It works in situations.
Well, yeah, because so gear was all situational, and you could gear swap, and you would set macros to do gear swaps. So, like when you would cast a DPS spell, you'd have a magic damage set of gear. When you would heal, you'd have a heal set of gear, a debuff set, a buff set. Like you'd have multiple sets of gear, and even sometimes if you were really pro, you could do stuff like have a precast, a cast, and a postcast set. So you'd have a precast set, which would raise your spell speed, like during cast, which would affect like recast and everything, and then a postcast, which would affect your actual damage output. So you would swap through.
That's actually really interesting, and I didn't know that, so I was really curious to see where you would go with that. And it's amazing because I think, Nathan, you can comment on it too. That is a huge. I don't know so much about having like all this gear and macros to swap. People may be a little against that, but I think everything else you said has been a pretty big demand of the Pantheon community. When you say Nathan,
Yeah, definitely. And, handled differently than this game, I think, is kind of what we're looking at with Pantheon. It will be a little bit less like swapping on the fly but it'll be a lot of like planning, I believe, in Pantheon. So like we're going to go do this. We need fire resistance. We need, heat resistance. We need this and that, and it'll cause a lot of farming too. Like you'll get out in the world to try to collect different sets of gear so that you can do different types of raids. So I think that's where we're headed for Pantheon.
and where we might see that in Pantheon a lot is with the environmental details. So,
Yeah.
I know probably a lot of the people watching us right now are pretty knowledgeable about Pantheon, but just in case, Pantheon's going to feature environmental hazard that you're going to have to gear for just to avoid, maybe like crazy cold, where when you're fighting mobs, your health regen's really slow. I'm just making this up because it's just so cold. So you actually have to have gear for your environment. So you may see it more for your environment than a precast, postcast type thing, but
Hey, why don't we pull this orc? He's a decent challenge to attend. Why don't we see what the XP is real quick? Just to
Okay. The grappler.
Yeah.
Yeah, and why do we get so far away when no one has a res?
well, that's your fault.
Might get ugly. I don't know what's gonna.
I didn't even have the money to buy the cure poison.
I spent all my money on my dagger. It cost me literally, I have like 10 gil left. But I need. Gotta upgrade that. What's up, Dave? What's up, Setsu?
Another thing I really like here that you don't see in a lot of other games is they have the elemental wheel. So, like, you're not just a mage casting fire 20 times because if something's strong against fire, that's not going to do a lot. So you have to be like, okay, well, this is weak against water, this is against thunder.
Okay.
You kind of have to go with it.
And I would say zones like this one is a decent example of a really open, big zone. There's plenty of them in EverQuest too. I will definitely want to see some big open plainsy, like plains, flat.
Like Karanas.
Yeah, like Karanas or like this. I definitely want to see some zones like that. I love it.
Yeah, where you can really see into the distance and it feels huge.
Yeah, this game with when we were saying something earlier about Windower. With Windower, you don't have all the pop-ins because they extend the draw distance so far.
Oh, okay. So that was like an
So-
add-on.
Yeah, well, it was a third-party program that was technically against terms of service, but everybody used it. So
Watch out for that goblin on the left, guys.
But yeah, it extended the draw distance. You could see the entire zone from any vantage point. Like everything was.
So Surfer Dave asked, does Final Fantasy 11 still have a decent population? I will tell you, this is the Eden server. I believe that the live and this have a pretty good population, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Is that
They do.
correct?
Live is actually really popular still. At least on certain servers. The server me and Winter played on recently, man, there's people everywhere. So and this
Yeah, I
one's-
play on Asura. I still have a character on Asura, and there's easily 3,000 people when I log in on that
that's
server
where we
alone.
were at. Yep, that's what we played on Asura.
And that's awesome. I mean, think about if we're able to say that for Pantheon that far into the future, then man, you
Right.
know, we're all getting the game we were hoping for.
Yeah, so as we know,
Watch out
the
for
game
the
is launching in 2021. So, just joking, guys. We have no idea.
As we all know. That's where we get in trouble. Right there. That was the line.
I just really hope Pantheon has the same combat and targeting and attacking that Final Fantasy 11 had.
Without the buttons, yes.
And no keyboard and no mouse.
You know, it's funny because so I'll give everyone a quick rundown of my experience. So we just got so I tweeted out early in the week, got to level 10, I'm ready to go. That was easy. It took me 10 minutes. Well, Nathan gave me
This
a
guy's gonna
file
kill
to
us, guys.
download to get this set up, and I guess he typed a message that said, you know,
We're about to die.
We're dying?
Yeah, we're gonna die.
Why is this thing hard?
Yeah,
Oh jeez.
I
So-
just leveled down.
So
That's
what does
the
this
other
mean?
thing about this
Should I
game.
just run?
Penalties to death are real. See,
It will. Yeah, I leveled down too. Yeah, this is
We're not gonna make it to the dunes. I think we should level up here. We're gonna
Yeah,
definitely die in
probably.
the dunes.
All right, so where is the zone? Wasn't too far back here,
far
right?
away.
It's
It'll
really
kill you
far.
before you get there.
It's about 20 miles from our current.
All right, well, I'm gonna make it.
Well, I paid the 100 gold or
I did
gil,
not.
so
I
I'm
didn't either.
I'll wait for you guys there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long time.
Yeah, let's just level up in this place. I think
Okay.
it's a cool zone. I like it.
So going back, so Nathan gave me this instruction on how to get here, and how to get this server set up. And I didn't see a small note he put that don't do the rest of it. You're gonna have to switch over to this. So I actually joined a different server called Homepoint, and I guess it was like advanced the XP, and it was all this buffed up. So I'm level 10 in roughly like 20 minutes. I'm like, man, getting to 10 was easy, and I'm crushing everything. So then I'm getting ready last night, and I'm like, yeah, I'm excited for the stream. And I find out that we try to see each other, and we can't. Me, Mirth, and Nathan cannot see each other. So we're like, well, that's pretty weird. And then it turns out that we weren't even on the right server. So last night I'm scrambling to get this set up, which was a mess anyway. That was a disaster trying to get it set up for me and Mirth. And I stay up
Did
till
you
like
survive?
2 in the morning. I'm running, man. I'm still running. I don't know where to. I think
He'll
I'm
follow
almost
you
there.
all the way to the zone line.
I think I see the zone line. If not, I'm in trouble because it's just a corner where I'm gonna die. I could look at my map, but that'll stop me, right?
And not if you press
No.
the LB button. You can keep running. That's like your auto run,
Not in this citizen. Oh, I stopped.
or maybe it's right bumper.
Nope.
Yeah, left bumper for
I see you
me.
now.
Good night, Asali. What are you using?
night,
An Xbox
Salty.
One controller too, right?
Yeah.
And that was another thing. So setting up the controller, me and Nathan spent probably 2 hours trying to get.
It should not have been that hard. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. Guess what?
I went through
I just walked
7
into a corner.
controllers.
Trouble. We are experiencing trouble.
Yeah, the one thing about this game is there's danger everywhere.
Oh,
Like you can't.
I got a goblin butcher. I am definitely dead. Yep, dead. All right. Well, that was. I thought for sure that was a zone line, and that was definitely the end of a box canyon there. Time to break out a torch, he said. So Anyway, it was really difficult setup, and last minute, a lot of us had to level because some of us had set up the wrong server. So that's kind of why we're not all as prepared as we probably should be. So when I get out into this map, west, whatever, yeah, stuck in a corner like you said. Yep. What zone and line am I looking
Oh,
for
wait,
on the
come
map?
back. Help me. Help me. Ah, I was
Help
trying
her.
to follow you.
Are you dead?
Nope, she's good.
But the end story here is that this game's hard. We're going
Yeah.
from hey, I got to 10 in 20 minutes on the whatever that server was to what we're at now. It is definitely a hard game. All right, so where am I heading here? Lathine Plateau?
Yeah, south.
Yes.
If you pull up your map, you
See
can see where we're at by going to the map and then
Yeah, I see
markers and then blue.
Just going south. So yeah, the game is pretty hard. I think getting from 9 to 10, I died about 7 times because it's interesting. Like you could fight a mob, and it's probably because I'm a thief. I don't know. I think classes maybe are a little stronger than others on their own and soloing, but I died probably 6 or 7 times, which causes a significant XP loss.
Yeah.
In level 9 to get to 10, it was like a hell level. It took me so long.
The 1 to 10 hump is like the worst part of the game, because after that you can group up, and depending on what job you're playing, like when in retail, when I first started this game, I played Red Mage. That's always kind of been my main thing, and and I would have to go on incognito mode just because I'd get random invites and random people just like, hey, come party with us. But yeah,
Red Mage is
once-
very party heavy, right?
well, Red Mage is so versatile in what it can do, and it's also a very easy solo job.
Oh, it is an easy solo job. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And
I
that's
feel
why
like
I did
Thief
it, because
is not. Am I wrong in saying that?
I leveled Thief just for soloing crafting materials.
Here's the other thing, Minus, you have to remember about Final Fantasy 11 is so your very first class you level, you're skilling up different things like your parry and etc. So when you go back and change jobs into something else, it's going to be easier that time because your parry skills up, your defense is up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we
Your
have a couple
first one is
comments.
always harder.
Bronze said, "I've never played this game, so right now I am playing it through you guys." And then Setsu says, "This was my sophomore summer in high school. Last time I played, I sat in the dunes for 10 hours as a monk."
Yep, we all did. You would just sit in the dunes LFGing, like looking for a group, baby, for hours. If you got in a group, it was like heaven. It was the best night ever. You weren't sleeping. You weren't eating. You were in a party. So life was great.
Yeah, Monk was one of those jobs too that had a hard time getting parties
Yeah, true.
because it didn't really have that much DPS, and it couldn't tank, and so
I was heading south, but I was hugging the east wall, so I'm running hardcore west right now. Ooh, there's orcs here.
My healing got to level 4.
healing was always the hardest thing to level skill wise. You'd always have to go to you'd also have to cast cures on undead creatures.
Does that do damage?
It did. Does, yeah.
See, I was talking about
like
that in. We did a video a while back, and I knew there was games, and I don't think it was this one that I was thinking of. But the games where you can heal undead and it hurts them, there's a few that do that. That's an awesome mechanic.
Yeah, once you get to a higher level too, in the city of Whitegate, they have these things where the city will come under siege, and you have to protect this like rune or crystal or something that's there. And one of the sieges is a bunch of undead creatures, and that's like perfect for healers because all you can do is sit there and cast cures and skill up your cure like crazy.
So this one's for the Final Fantasy players, Nathan and Micah. So Anth, I'm gonna call you Arthan. Arthan says, my favorite time was it Quafen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Called?
Quiffham
And-
Island or whatever.
Yeah, said that was the last time he felt like actual danger, like super danger there.
Yeah, that was a cool place. That was
Got a goblin on me.
you went there after Dunes, was it? I think
It's not hitting
that
me
was the
very
next
Yeah,
place
level
you
20.
went. Yeah. Did that? Is he on you?
Yeah, but he's
Oh,
not
he's
hitting
on
me
me
very
now.
hard, so I should be fine.
I'll just pull him. He's easy. I
Are
think.
you with me?
No, I
No.
think you're south of us.
Oh, I
I
was
just
heading
thought-
down to the place I'm supposed to go to, right?
Oh, we were waiting to meet you.
Oh,
We
my
can just
bad.
head. We'll meet you at Latine.
There's a
When
lot
you
of stuff
first
on
send
me.
it.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it now. I think I'm close to that, right? It's this path.
Yeah. I'll tell you if you're
Yeah.
close. I'll look at you on the map.
My
Yeah, you
health
are.
is-
Just run south. Just run south.
All right, all right. Yeah, Bronson brought up a good point. Nathan, I mean, you're probably a guy to ask about this with what you know and seen and played and what you've done in looking at the classes because you've spent a ton of time doing that. What do you think Monk's going to look like when you compare it to like different Monks across games?
I've never been a monk player. I do know about how they generally play in quite a few MMOs. I think if you had to compare it to another MMO, then, and I hate to say this because this is so generic, but I do. It does look like it's more similar to the EverQuest monk than any other. But that's mainly because Brad McQuaid's vision of a monk is so different than other people's. You know.
Yeah.
So it is gonna more favor it than definitely other games like Final Fantasy. It's not gonna be anything like the monks in this. But also it's really unique if you look at all the skill sets the monk can do in Pantheon. I think people are gonna figure out some pretty cool stuff, builds and things with it.
Yeah, I think one of the more fun monks I've ever played was Final Fantasy 14. Did you play a monk, Micah?
I've leveled all my characters.
So what I
clubs.
really like about the monk, and I mained a monk for a very short period of time in the initial launch. I switched to it and leveled it up from being a paladin, and I really enjoyed I don't want to call it stance dancing because it wasn't, but positional dancing. Like certain attacks did more damage from the side, some were from the back, and you kind of you did this comboing of movement. You almost felt sort of like a dancer, dancing around the position of the mob. I really enjoyed that a lot when it came to how a monk played.
Yeah, I agree.
Arthan
Final
says
Fantasy
he really
14
liked the different stealth types. So you had to know what mobs detected you,
Yeah.
how sound, vision, or smell. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that
That'd be cool.
in Pantheon.
I really like that because you would have to get certain potions or certain buffs to get past certain things to get to certain places in this game. So like,
And sometimes they had true sight and true sound. So even if you had those buffs,
yeah,
like
yeah, that would
imps and Cadaver Meyer. Ugh.
You guys are coming down to me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You with this, Mirth? Yeah, I see him.
All right, so a little slower and steady now.
There's
We
this
gotta-
place. There's this place called Kaidarva Meyer, and it's like it's full of imps. The imps are true sight, and it's a big leveling place when you're higher level. And just getting around without dying was so tough. But once you got to a camp, you were good.
Mirth is lagging a little bit behind, guys. He does have smaller legs. He has to work twice as hard.
And they'll be in the middle of casting. You guys all run off.
What's up, Fragile? So, Nathan,
I just saw that. Yeah, I saw
me,
Fragile.
what do you
Yeah,
think?
so if Brad will drop any bombs in the upcoming interview, dude, I think a little bit. Nothing huge, I don't believe. They would save that for something more official, I think. But I think he'll drop a couple of things that will definitely get our conversation started. Now, if Joppa was doing the interview, Joppa does not know. He has, no filter. He just says right off the gut. I wish Joppa was doing it. Joppa's my favorite guy to do interviews because he talks. He says things.
Yeah, for me, is it weird that I feel like it'll probably be something along the lines of like what we hear in a VIP roundtable? Nothing too
I think so.
groundbreaking. I think
More
you're going to
more
hear
gameplay though.
I think you're going to hear a lot from his old interview because it's been so long where he kind of talks about like Brad's been very open about how you can't blame WoW for what happened. And that he thinks WoW was a great game. and that it's more on the other developers and the cash grabbers that didn't originate. I wouldn't be surprised for that to be a very big speaking point for him, kind of rehashing the fact that, like, you know, get over your WoW hate. It's not WoW's fault. It's these other developers who lacked creative vision. I think you're going to hear a lot about that.
Yeah.
Creativity is something that's very, very lacking, I think, in a lot of games because everything's the same. I'm always talking about flavor with stuff.
Where
It's
are
like
we?
I
There you go.
yeah, just like grab whatever.
We're just going to keep
needs
fighting
to
here.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, I mean, because I like it when there's when they do a twist on things. Like when I did the Bard video, I was talking about how it'd be nice not to just have like your standard Bard, but maybe like have like a spell singer sort of thing. It's different. It's flavor.
Yeah, would anybody argue that Brad McQuaid makes the coolest ideas for classes? Like, he mixes it up, man. He doesn't just stick with the cookie cutter, you know.
Isn't
I
Joppa,
love
though,
his class
mainly the
design.
class designer this time around? I mean, I'm sure Brad has say in it.
Oh, Brad has input in it all, though.
So Brunson, but wasn't WoW the game to lead the change for MMOs? Sure, it was. You know, and,
Yeah, definitely.
And the reason it led the change is because they jumped up to 15 million players at one point.
Yeah, and let's not forget that before WoW, having 100,000 players meant you made it, baby. You're in. You're popular. You're a great MMO. And now they look at that like, we're surviving.
People were afraid to compete if it was too different. It limited the creativity of developers because these massive publishers just said make a WoW clone. And what happened is it wasn't only make a WoW clone in play, but it was make a WoW clone that you need this many million players to be considered successful. And that really threw the whole thing on its head. And that saying of you have to have X amount of players, X amount of million of players, meant that that's where the quality of life adjustments came in and forced them to make it so accessible. Because if you had 15 million people playing WoW and it was dominating, I think a lot of those companies at that point realized that they're not going to beat WoW. I mean, how many games said they were going to be a WoW killer, and that was a joke.
All of them.
So they had to make it so accessible that people who weren't playing WoW or who were tired of WoW or weren't even gamers would check it out. And that's where it really went downhill. Now, would a game like Pantheon have been able to be successful in that time period being classic? So if they said, we're going to be original and we're going to be different, I don't think so. I think WoW had too much of a grip on the genre.
Yeah.
And that's not saying anything bad about these classic games. I think it just took everyone. What opens the door now for these types of games is that people are leaving WoW.
Yeah, and there's a whole new group of people that grew up with classic WoW as their first MMO that are sick and tired of WoW, or that want something different now because it's been a long time. So those people may not be into MMOs if it wasn't for WoW, So it brought more attention to the genre. It was good for the genre in more ways than it was bad, honestly.
Yeah, it's just I think that the major issue was when it was at its peak, it wasn't touchable. So even if there's been a big debate I've had, and I'm really interested to get chat's feedback on this. Vanguard. So Vanguard, in my opinion, you take out the rush and you take out the funding being lost and switching to this and all the complications that happened. You take that out, even if that game launched as good as it was, it would have just still had a really hard time being successful because there was such a grip. And nobody... And let's be honest, even though people say that WoW took community away, a lot of the reason people played WoW was because their friends were playing it.
Yeah.
That's what got them to 15 million, was a friend saying, come play this with me. So, yeah, WoW killed community from a standpoint of needing others, but you still wanted to play the game your friend was playing. And as the game got more and more and more easy and quality of life, a lot of that started happening as their numbers started to dwindle.
Yeah, they were just trying to get that market.
Nathan, I just want to tell you that your polling is weak sauce.
Well, we got to move forward. I'm waiting on everybody to move up. We got nothing to pull.
Yeah, so a couple things that were said in chat here. The thing about WoW though is they didn't force others to follow. Exactly. Bronson said EQ had about 500 grand, DOC had about 400 grand, and then boom, wow, 12 million new bar was set. It's so true.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that jump. And it's ridiculous when you look at it in numbers, but really think about that
Not
jump.
the skeleton, guys. Not the skeleton.
Is it hard?
You will whoop us. Yeah. I'm gonna go over on the right side here. Those
So-
only come out at night.
Think about that. EQ's sitting there with 500,000. Like, this is the greatest game ever.
Right.
And WoW comes out and dumps 12 million subscribers.
And do you guys remember the language before WoW? Like Dark Age of Camelot, I remember it was like, can we get players to quit playing EverQuest and come, DOC was like, can we be the EverQuest killer? And I like that better. I like that better back then.
What the heck was that?
Somebody did some special moves, dude.
Looked like
Getting
the
fancy.
hair got all big.
So
Bronson said, WoW is to blame for most things bad, but players are to blame for keeping it that way. Yeah, 100%. I mean, a majority of the player base of WoW, no matter what we want to pretend, wanted the things that WoW did until BFA, and that's why they lost so many people. I should probably use my abilities. I never use them. I don't know what I'm saving it for.
Perfect dodge is only you can only use that every 2 hours.
Yeah, save that one.
Trust me, that one. That's been me praying to God that thing doesn't fall off while I'm fighting.
In winter, your 2-hour mana, whatever it's called, allows you to cast for a while without using mana.
So another great point brought up here, Nathan. Bronson says, I hope Pantheon can hold up 500,000 to 1 million players.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Yeah, and I think that's where my head's at. I think that's where my head's at too.
I mean, I honestly don't think Pantheon's gonna get WoW numbers.
No, nobody
just, just because the difficulty spike. A lot of people are just good. I mean, you see it in Final Fantasy 14 all the time. They release something with any difficulty, and people just start whining, just like, "Oh, it's too hard. I can't do it. I have a job and a real life and a family. You got to make this for me."
But you know what? Here's where my faith, and this is what this gets me in trouble. We're dead. You pulled something.
No, we're gonna survive, but Winter and Mirtha died. Were y'all standing too close? Was there an AoE? I didn't think they did AoE.
I was 2 experience away from leveling as well.
Do you guys know how to get back down here?
Yeah, the red maid reses us.
I don't have raise until like 20 or 30 something.
I can pick your corpse up and hold you like a football if that helps.
Can I be a backpack?
Yeah,
for sure. Can I shove stuff in your mouth?
Yeah, let me hold more items.
So a couple things said here. Bronson said it's his dream that they get to that amount. Setsu said ding because I dinged, so that was cool. And Zoltar said, 200K after about 3 years would be good. He thinks that'd be a success for the game in today's market. Yeah, that is a foreseeable thing as well. What's up, Elisera? So here's the thing, Nathan, am I wrong in saying we're not really sure what the server strategy is going to be?
Yeah, we really don't, actually.
So that's going to be important because let's talk a little bit about failed MMOs. And I'm going to use Rift as an example. And I think some people would say that it had its moment in the sun.
Yeah.
So this happens in almost every game I've played. And I've played a lot of those small launch MMOs that I'll get interested in. And what happens is they have a giant burst. And we're going to see that in Pantheon. The launch will have a burst because it's just what happens with MMOs. People are so curious. And the thing too is I think people understand that with MMOs, they want to be in early because the worst thing that can happen if you really want to play an MMO is that you're too late and everyone's ahead of you. So with a game like Rift, for example, it came out and everyone jumped in, and then what happens is the servers start to get overcrowded, and every game makes the same mistake. They open up a ton of new servers to try to say, okay, we're doing great. We open up all these servers, they split the population up, and then the first month sub we all know is a drop off, but let's say the first 6 months. After 6 months, that sub drop off is pretty big these days.
Yeah.
And what happens is you now have all your players dispersed over servers. And yes, you can sit here and you can take all your players and you can start closing servers, but how bad does that feel as a gamer?
That's negative, yeah.
Yeah,
Negative press.
Even if it's the positive thing, right? Even if it's the smart decision. Even if, let's say, you didn't open those servers in the first place and you had to deal with people complaining it was hard to get on. You know, you had this too much demand and you weren't there was too much server queue. It's almost better to have the server queue problem than to open these servers up and then having to close them. Because it would be the same thing, right? Except for one's viewed negatively and one's viewed semi-positively. Like, closing servers to bring everybody together is a positive move, but when you do it, it feels like the death of a game.
Yeah. Yeah, and you got to figure that, like, all right, so if I heard that a game came out, right, and I was like, I might check that out later on, right? And then 6 to 8 months later, I hear servers are shutting down. I might be like, that game's dying.
Yeah, that's a good point for people who kind of maybe hold off with the launch of a game, or their friends are playing it and they think of playing, then they hear that. That's a great point.
And a lot of people do that. You know, a lot of people are like, I'm not going to get all invested in another MMO right now. I'm going to wait and see how this game does. I don't want another Bless Online situation, etc. So they won't dive in until the game's been out for a while. And if you get too much negativity on that game, it can spell disaster for that's quite a bit of people that feel that way. You guys want to pull these saplings while we wait?
Yeah. Do it.
Can Winter make it back? She said that she had.
Is she on her own? Isn't she with Mirth?
Yeah, just sacrifice Murph and run. It's the strategy.
You know, that's actually a thing that we used to do.
Yeah.
Sacrificing the Lala, and in 14, sacrificing the Lala in 14, sacrificing the Tar in 11 was the go-to.
And you know, in this game, well, not just this game, a lot of the classic MMOs, it was the tank's job. Like, I remember in the when this game first launched, and if you looked up the official Square Enix guide for each class, it would tell you if you were picking a tank that it was your job to sacrifice yourself. So, like, if things were going bad, like, hold the aggro, let everybody else get away.
I've
You
done
know,
that
so they
in a
come
ton
back
of
and res
MMOs.
you, etc.
Yep.
I like that mechanic, and that mechanic almost doesn't exist in newer MMOs.
You can keep pulling stuff if you want. Yeah, it's interesting. So Cerulean said, kind of wondering if the burst will be the same, though. I think you'll see a good burst. Now, is that burst going to be 500,000? No. And that's the problem, because I'm sure that there's a lot of statistics and stuff that VR has where they have an estimate of what they think is going to happen, and who knows how accurate that's going to be. But that's another hard part about that server creation, is how many do we make, and will it be enough? I mean, there's a lot of interesting things to think about in that. So that's an interesting thing. Bronson said, you know, the trouble is they kind of have to open new servers or the gameplay is terrible. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah. So But think about this. Back in the day in EverQuest, do you remember how hard it was to run through the populated cities? Like, I don't know about you guys if you had, like, a beast computer or not. Like, I thought I had a good computer, and I had to, like, look at the ground when I went through cities.
Yeah.
It was just so crazy.
You didn't play version 1 Final Fantasy 14, did you?
No,
I did.
no.
I did.
Oh, man. You want to talk about graphics card eating graphics?
Yeah. So Minus, you played the newer Final Fantasy 14, right?
I played Realm Reborn, yeah, when it came out.
Realm Reborn, yeah. So this is how crazy the graphics are. And honestly, as far as looking at the game did look better in 1.0, but they did a really good job of lowering the polygon count, etc. But just an example that they like to give about the difference is that a whole character model in Realm Reborn, that many polygons was in like a pot of like flowers in the scenery of a background. Like, it was a monster.
Yeah. During the Christmas event, the last Christmas event before it went down, they had a big Christmas tree in the middle of Uda. and everybody called it the graphics card eating Christmas tree, because when you would go to Uda and stand by the tree, your fans would just spin and get
Yeah, they just come on like, Mom!
Chat's on fire right now. So let me read a couple different things here. So first of all, Arthan said, I'd rather have an overpopulated server than an empty one if I had to choose. I completely agree. I'd rather complain that it's hard to get mobs than not. And you know what's funny? Some of those things that are complaints are not big enough complaints for people to quit playing. Like having to fight for mobs is not going to make somebody stop playing. It'll make them frustrated. They'll cry and whine on the server, on the forums, you know, blah, 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 but they're not going to stop playing.
And you know what they'll do? It also, they'll find somewhere else to go.
It's a natural gate. It's a natural gate. You know, people hate the gates that games put up right now, like where you have to wait till an expansion or a patch comes out to progress. That's a natural leveling. Like, we want to talk about leveling being hard. Well, maybe that's another mechanic of it. This is interesting because I've never heard this, and Cerulean put this out there, and this blows my mind, and I would hate my life. He said that on his server, he played Soul Row on EQ. Their main trade hub on that server was Kelethin. What?
Weird.
So, Micah, you don't know that. Kelethin was a treetop city, and if you fell off of it, you died, and it was really hard to see the bridges. So they literally had that as the main hub. That is just crazy. We have to come get them?
Okay. Yeah, we have to go get them. They can't make it back.
Okay. So that is freaking hilarious. Because for me, it was commons. Commons were always a trade hub. We have here, Zetsu said the infamous pot debacle when you were talking about the pot. So that's funny. I didn't realize that was such a big story.
Yeah, I had a shit PC. I actually upgraded my PC for 15 when that came out.
I did too, and it didn't run beautifully, but it ran good enough. Like, it wasn't too bad. I was probably getting maybe 20 frames per second with the rig I had then.
I was getting more than that, but it wasn't really that great. I've since built a computer, and it's a lot better now.
Well, that's a funny thing too. Like, so talking again about how bad the original Final Fantasy 14 ran, Setsu said, I had the first ever quad-core CPU, 512 GPU, 2008, struggled in Final Fantasy 1.0.
I believe it.
The same thing happened to me for Vanguard. So the reason I never played Vanguard is because I had a beast computer, picked that game up, super hyped, right? Brad McQuaid, and it just crashed. Like, I literally couldn't even do the starting area. Like, it wasn't showing up. I'd fall through the world, and I returned it. And I never picked it. It's my biggest regret in gaming is that I didn't pick that up once it stabilized, because the little bit I got to play on the emulation server was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
See, and I regret not playing ever. And I really wish I would have done that. And it's simply because by the time PC 2 that was capable of gaming
on you.
Oh, do I?
Yeah,
he's probably an easy.
Oh. By the time I got a PC capable of gaming on, I went down to the store and I picked up Final Fantasy 11. That was my first MMO because
you can't select this mob. Like a special button I should hit to...
No, just face it and shoot it too.
Yeah.
But for me, it was name recognition because I knew the Final Fantasy.
So I just had a buffer there.
So, what did you play this game on originally? Did you play on PC from the beginning, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
See, I played it on... Yeah, no, never mind. I played on PC. I never actually played this game on PS2.
This game was competition to the end of EQ, beginning of WoW.
Yeah.
Came out before WoW.
Yep.
But it was kind of... So that's... I was really hardcore into EQ. Like, I didn't even eat. Me and my friends in high school, we would play literally from the time we got up till we went to bed, like when we were off. And then, like, we'd forget to eat. And we would meet up at Denny's. And, like, you know, all we would do once we were there was like talk about EQ.
See, that's what we did with this one. But if you were as nerdy as we were, you'd be talking about EQ
What's up,
as you
Live It Up?
played Magic the Gathering, which is what we
dude.
did.
So here's a little thing about me, and I'll admit this, and you guys can make fun of me for this, but I was kind of like the punk rock skater kid. I was a troublemaker in high school. You know, so for me, I was a gamer my whole life. So that was like my nerdy side, but I was also really into sports. I still am. So I wrote off Magic the Gathering and D&D because I was like, no, I'm too cool for that. So when I was in my 20s, I had a roommate move in with me he was a DM and played Magic. Dude, I dropped about, that year, I probably dropped about maybe 10 grand on Magic. And then like we started playing D&D. Now I only played D&D. I didn't get a whole lot of D&D, but what I played, I loved. And I sit here, and those are some of my big regrets as well. Is like, you know, not doing that when I was younger because I would have loved it. My dumb ego stopped.
You would have loved it.
Yeah.
So here's something funny, and I'm not sure, but recently I was out getting a sandwich at a sandwich shop, and the guy behind the counter looks at me and he goes, "Here's a strange question." I was like, "Okay." He goes, "Do you play Magic the Gathering?"
Just like looking at you, he asked if you
You can see it in your eye.
Yeah. And he goes, "No offense, but you look like someone who would, and we have a Magic the Gathering like thing going down at this comic book shop, and you should come and play with it." It's like, I was like, I don't really know how to take that.
You know what it is, dude? It's the beard. You have that beard. There's a certain beard that I don't know
it's
how
like
to
the
put my
sage
finger on.
beard.
Yeah, it's the sage beard. Yes, thank you. Hey, I do got to make a comment in the chat. Bronzik earlier said people killed their children over EQ. I want to comment on that because I've got a guy in my community that is very active on my YouTube, and he I made a video about how hard I wanted, you know, Pantheon to be and how I love like the penalties and being scared out in the world. And he left a comment and he said, "We need to be careful that we don't go back to the stuffing our children in closet days." And I loved it. I loved it because there was like
Did
a
any
lot
of you break up with someone over EQ?
Oh, I broke up with several women over MMOs.
So the
I'll
girl
say
who
that.
bought this game for me, her name was Alexis Lutz. I'll never forget that. She bought this game for me. She taught me about it. She's like hyped me for it. And, you know, we ended up being friends. A lot of the people I broke up with, like, I somehow became friends with. I know that sounds impossible, but it usually did. And we were having a rough time, and EQ was kind of the final straw. And I was like, listen, I'd rather just play this than
Yes.
be with you.
So I've got a good story. Winter's here with us, so this will be even more fun. When we first started dating way back, Final Fantasy 14 came out 1.0, right? And I just started skipping work and playing the game, and you know, wasn't calling her anymore. I had an MMO, right? And she had to come to my house. She thought I'd like, you know, like found another woman or something like that. She had to come there, and I was like, I'm just playing a game. Nothing's weird is going on.
I can
I had
trump you.
clothes there, and I was like, I don't know what to do. This is
Yeah,
so
she came
awkward.
with like her makeup smeared. She'd been crying and was like, "I've just come to get my clothes and I'll leave you alone." I was like, okay.
She thought your MMO obsession was a mistress.
Yes.
What's up, Flea? So we had a couple people join up, Live It Up. He said, never got into the Final Fantasies. I can't do the whole Asian themes and models. I understand that. So let me give Final Fantasy some love, because I know Micah would have no problem doing that. He would be able to give it tons of love. Here's the thing that I respect a ton about Final Fantasy. There is no game that has been around as long. You know, it's an NES game. Let's remember that. That has been around as long and that has not necessarily taken like the entirety of D&D lore to create this world. Final Fantasy has created its own universe that has been around since the NES, and there's a lot of respect that I have for that they've stayed very true to it. a lot of the other Asian MMOs, like they just are so generic, and your Blade and Soul, which I played a ton of, your Black Desert Online, your Lineage, a lot of those they felt very similar. But Final Fantasy is at least a game that's kept its character. I mean, even look at this MMO. We were talking about at the beginning. We have a lot of new people here. They made this MMO look and feel like you're playing a freaking turn-based RPG on a console, which is weird. Yeah. But so I'd give Final Fantasy a ton of credit for that.
And what a genius way to bring MMOs to console with this particular style of combat with the menus and everything. What a genius way to do that,
It was smart. And that's
now I would also argue
that was how, if you want my honest opinion, the reason this game's still played today and had a footing against EQ was because it was able to grab the consolers.
Yeah, the PS2, which was huge, PS2 players. But also, dude, I would like to mention, because I said that, I can't leave it out. Somebody will literally find out where I live and kill me. EverQuest Online Adventures. I hate that I didn't get to play it, but I didn't want to buy the adapter for the PS2. And I thought it was just a generic EverQuest. I didn't realize it was a standalone awesome game. They also did a very awesome job at bringing MMOs to consoles back then.
All right, let's pull Nathan.
All right, we're ready. We going?
Always be ABK, bro. Always be killing.
Always be killing.
All right, I need 102 experience.
We need what? A puller? You're the puller.
Yeah, we need a puller, man.
I can run around it as it's moving forever to pull it back. So, Setsu said EQOA was gateway drug to FF11. So.
We just became best friends, Tetsu. We just became best friends.
We also had Flea IP. I think I gave a shout out. He said good old Final Fantasy 11. He's joined us. We also had let's see, Orion join us. I told friends back in the day I'd rather play EQ when they wanted to hang out, but I never told that to a girlfriend. I can't get into the relationship I had with my first, I would call her my first serious, could have engaged girlfriend. That's how serious we were, and we were together for a very long time. I can't even get in on this stream to the craziness of how that relationship worked and the things that occurred as a 16-year-old boy that I was granted the capability of having access to constantly. It made me, let's just say it was a strange relationship.
Sounds like it. Sounds like it. Now, I didn't realize I had a problem with MMOs. I felt like I was just normal, and I didn't realize how addicted I was until I had a friend, and this female had come over, and when she was apparently coming to meet me, but I was just playing the game the entire time, and she had asked him if I was interested in her, and he said, "Did he quit playing the game?" And she was like, "No," and he was like, "Then he's not interested in you."
Bronson said, my ex-wife never understood my obsession with EQ, but I still...
Oh, hey, Isaiah. Okay, we already were friends, it turns out.
Okay, nice.
I just knew him as a different
I'm Mega
name.
Man from your guild. Nice.
Yeah, Mega Man, that's right.
That's a game we have to do soon.
Mega Man?
No, me and Nathan for our uphill both ways. Mega Man 3.
Oh,
Mega Man
not
2
Mega
is
Man
the-
2. Yeah,
Two
Mega
is
Man
my
2.
favorite.
Yes. 3 is good, though. Oh, we can do 3. 3's awesome. We'll argue on 2 and 3. That's what we'll do.
What's up? Surfer Dave's back. He said he had to turn his PC off. He's getting all his lights set up, getting his stream ready to go. We're going to see some Surfer Dave coming.
Yeah, so...
I'll give a quick
real-
shout out. Sorry, I'm going to give a quick note to, we don't have a ton of people here, but we have about 20 people. So Pantheon Plus, if you go there to consume any Pantheon content, or if you're part of the community there, thank you. We are going to be starting to hype up streamers, because right now there's a lot of streamers I'm friends with that can't stream Pantheon, so they don't have Pantheon content. But we want to start getting the community to know them, and Surfer Dave is one that I'm a huge fan of. I don't want to speak for everyone, but I am a huge fan of Dave. I've spent some time on his streams. I've spent some time talking to him. I've had some very fun debates with Dave. But Dave's going to be one of many of the streamers. We are actually on the website. There's going to be a section coming very soon. It's kind of fleshed out. We just have to start adding the content. And it's going to be called Plus. So, Pantheon Plus, it's the plus side of Pantheon. And we're going to start highlighting streamers who are going to be switching to Pantheon when they come out. So they may not be Pantheon content right now, but you'll be able to check out their streams, get to know them a little bit, so that when Pantheon does come out, you'll know who they are. And it'll give a bigger way for us as a community. Because, yes, I make a lot of content. I do enjoy the content creation. We have our YouTube channel. But at the end of the day, Pantheon Plus is about community. And it's really a way that we can hyper extend our community and get some of the streamers involved in the community and help get their names out there. Some of them are, really awesome. They don't need our help, but we're just pleased to have them as part of the community. So we're going to see that pretty soon. So you guys will see a new link on Pantheon Plus that just says plus across the top. And that's where you'll be able to go see content creators and streamers who do other content as well. And you'll see some of Nathan's other content, some of mine, some of Micah's. So some of the current creators will be on there with their other content, but then we're going to be able to show off a lot of streamers, and we're actually going to have direct live streams on that site that you can click to go right to or watch from, and that'll still give them credit. So that's going to be really, really cool. You'll be able to load that page up and see what streams are live. So pretty excited about that. A little bit of a teaser there. Nathan, I know I cut you off. Sorry about that.
No, it's good. That was better than whatever I was going to say. I don't even remember. But hey, if you're going to talk about streamers, and we're doing a Final Fantasy 11 stream, I would also like to throw out a shout out to Loxulus.
Oh yeah,
who does awesome Final Fantasy streams. They're a lot of fun.
And I'm gonna shout out at Bronson right here. So Bronson just said, I'll be doing a lot of Pantheon art. Bronson, I'd love to feature that stuff and credit you and get people to follow your Twitter. So if you do want to submit any art that you want us to throw up on Pantheon.plus, and I will credit you and make you your own page so people can view your art, I would absolutely love to do that. And Bronson, I actually do want to contact you to see if you do any commission work, because I was thinking it'd be really cool to get some kind of art from you of me and Haya as Pantheon characters. So might hit you up for that later. And on the Lox topic, I already have his logo. Him and Surfer Dave are going to be probably the first two people that are added up there. So
Cool.
I love Lox. He's a great dude.
Yeah, really great
Kidrich
guy.
is someone that's probably going to be up there. I haven't chatted with him a ton yet, but I have an amazing relationship with Kidrich. I love that guy. So I'm hoping to get him up there too. Always thinking, guys, I may not implement things great, and I may not always be the fastest, but the brain is always moving at a rapid pace. I don't even sleep.
Yeah.
So the new website concept, where I don't know if anyone's been there recently, but when you click on somebody's what happened, Nathan? I pulled it.
I got him.
Bro. I know I'm a badass, but you probably should turn and look at him. You should probably turn and look at him so you can hit him. There you go.
On your screen, I wasn't looking at him?
No.
On mine either.
Well, you can't not look at the enemy in this game. It
Yes,
makes
you can.
auto-face.
Yes, you can.
You gotta disengage.
No, it'll say down below you can't see them. But yeah, so I'm really excited to see some of that. So my brain's going, the new concept for the page, like when you click on somebody's video and it shows the way it's all set up now with the black, and I actually woke up in the middle of a dream. I'm not even kidding you, and had my phone, and I put a note in my phone so I wouldn't forget it, and I went back to sleep. That's how I came up with that.
Yeah, we're going to have to move up, guys.
So one thing I want to bring up, and I have not brought this, I think I've hinted at it before. I've not actually fully said anything about it. So
here we go.
I want to get back into cosplay. Bad. I used to do it all the time. It's a lot of fun. I'm starting to finally get my body back from all the weight I had gained. So
you and me both, buddy.
So I don't know how to make a lot of things. So because my friends always were the seamstresses and stuff like that, and they'd make our costumes and stuff. So I'm actually going to teach myself how to sew and start doing this stuff, and then I'm going to actually start making some videos about learning how to cosplay.
Cool. Are you going to cosplay stream?
And I'll probably do some streaming of me making some stuff too.
I'll tell you right now,
that's in the
Surfer
pipeline.
Dave. Have you ever watched a Surfer Dave stream?
I don't watch a lot of streamers.
Yeah, watch him. When he has a few different characters. He does just a music stream where it's just him. But he has his character, Surfer Dave. And he doing what he did inspired me with my interviews with Minus. I don't know if I ever told you that, but the way he transitions scenes and he goes to like the tiki bar and he's all like he's on the beach and he does around the campfire discussions, and it's just he transitions so well with it. It is just a blast, and that's what made me work on transitions and work on the set for interviews with Minus. Little tiny details, but it is so fun, man. It's so great. It's such a great character.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll definitely be doing once I learn how to do all this stuff. I'll definitely be cosplaying some Pantheon stuff.
Nice.
And I really wish I had my body back now, because I'm always saying if I actually had my body back to where it used to be, then I would actually be doing the 14 dancer thing right now, learn the full routine and everything. Because when we used to do it pretty hardcore like that. So yeah, it wasn't just like putting on a costume and going to a con. It was putting on a costume and playing a character like full on.
What's the difference between a cosplay and a furry?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah, a
sex.
whole lot.
Their sexual preference, for one, for starters.
The furry concept is very much so based around odd sexual preferences, and
Right.
cosplay has nothing to
With
do
animals.
with
Or
that.
fake
Cosplay is
animals,
just
I guess.
going to not always, but going to cons like dressed as gaming characters and like making really like being. You know what a cosplayer is, in my opinion, is you're super into Halloween, and you just wish it was Halloween more often.
Yeah, I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like furries, if you went to their house and seen their pet, they would have a deep fear in their eye.
Oh man, no, it's funny you said that, man. Like, and this is gonna be super cheesy, so you guys can all make fun of me here. You can light this chat up. I am giving you the go ahead. Get ready to get your best insults and in moment of me being semi mushy emotional here with the Pantheon community. So if you watch my original videos, I had gotten up in weight quite a bit. I got to about 215 pounds. I'm 5'11". It was the second highest weight I've ever had in my life. And a lot of crap was going on in my life. I'm not going to get into that, but there's been a lot of resolution in my life recently. And I just hit yesterday 100 days. And this is honestly due to learning to stream and wanting to be a better streamer. And I'm going to be honest, maybe some people making fun of me that I took to heart. But in the last 100 days, I've tracked every single day. I've worked out probably 90% of the last 100 days. I probably had no more than 10 days skipped. I've worked out with dumbbells, yoga, ab roller, and I've cleaned up my diet, and I am down to 191 pounds, and I have more muscle mass than I've ever had in my entire life because I've never lifted. So like I feel so healthy, and like I know this is gonna sound cheesy, but this is totally because of the Pantheon community and the acceptance I've had in wanting to drive this concept and wanting to be a better streamer, a better friend, a better...
Hey guys, let's move back a little bit. There's another mesmerizer back here who would wreck us.
Okay, he's unfortunately...
I know he's a caster, but he'll move.
So yeah, pretty cool. So somebody there we go. So it's been pretty crazy, and the longest I've only gotten in shape one other time in my entire life, and I gave up after about 90 days. I got down to about 182, but at the same time I was not healthy. I lost it by not eating much at all, so I was almost starving myself, and I wasn't working out as much. So this is interesting because I haven't lost weight as quickly, but again, I've just gained upper body mass that I've never had, muscle mass. So it's a healthy way to do it, and I have no intention to stop. Like I'm at 100 days, I can't wait to get to 365. So it's just been awesome. Like the big thing as well is, you know, Surfer Dave, the Rainborn guys. Like I love talking with them. Solly, the friends I've made in the community. It's all been a part of it, man, and it's just been awesome.
Well, I would just like to
Said
say that
midlife crisis. I hope not. I'm only 36.
Yeah,
Not quite
Setsu
there
said
yet.
it sounds like I was pregnant because I keep getting my body back. But what happened is I actually went back to school, and I majored in literary criticism, as well as I did a lot of stuff in design, and so just hours upon hours of sitting in front of a computer and reading and writing.
I'm gonna
academic
pull this
papers.
back, by the way, guys. I'm gonna
Okay.
pull it back.
To the tree. Everybody hang out the tree.
and academic papers and everything like that. It just my movement went from to nothing. So yeah.
Oh, crap, we might have got two. We might have got two. I'm not sure.
We'll be okay. We
No,
just
we
gotta
did, we did,
focus
we
on the
did.
same one. Yeah, so Sterling said, well, you're losing fat, but you're gaining muscle. Yeah, so this is almost embarrassing. At the peak weight 100 days ago, I was almost 31 to 32% body fat, which is pretty horrible. And I'm down to about, I hover between, because the scale's not super accurate. I hover now between about 23 and 25. So not only have I lost about 21 pounds, I've lost, a significant amount of body fat. It's kind of crazy.
I'm on an opposite journey. I'm trying to get fat, and so I drink a lot of beer. I eat things that are outrageously unhealthy, a lot of butter, everything that's bad for you. And I can document that. I'm serious for me.
So
Let me just tell you something real quick, because this is the most annoying thing ever.
Uh-oh.
So
I love it.
Nathan had started to gain a little bit of weight, and I'm like, haha, looking chunky. And he's like, oh yeah. So he goes out with friends one night, had a few drinks, came home, little tipsy. He woke up the next morning, he had a 6-pack.
From drinking beer!
Abs.
From drinking beer! What the hell, man? I drank beer and woke up with a 6-pack.
You ready for this, Nathan?
Yeah.
This is where I have to say this not as an insult.
All right.
But that means you are the truest of redneck possible.
No, rednecks get the pot belly. I get a 6-pack.
No, rednecks drink Bud Light or Budweiser, and they're strong and farm ready.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
I'll tell you guys though, the funny thing, this is so getting off track, but so I'm not saying I'm super strong guy, right? Like I'm up to 20-pound dumbbells, and I do like sets of 20. But I went and bought an ab roller, and you see them on the commercial, and you're like, oh, that looks easy.
Rest. Oh crap! I get a grappler on his guess.
Yeah, and Mirth's dead.
He's walked up and killed him, one shot him.
Poor guy. But the ab roller, if anyone watches the commercial and you're like, that looks easy, the ab roller is probably the most difficult, most painful thing that's ever existed. And it's not easy. And you don't just, ooh, wee, and then you pull it back, and then wee. No. You just cry for all your reps of it. It's insane.
Are we going to survive this, guys? What do y'all think?
I got some heals, but I'm out of MP.
Yeah. Why don't you guys start running for the zone?
You want us to run?
Yeah.
Let me hit him with Wasp's thing.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. Everybody use your cooldowns. How about that?
Yeah, use your class thing. I used my attack.
I've got mine, which causes me to crit. That's all I got.
I can't because I just have chain spell and I don't have no MP to.
Winter, if you use yours, it'll be under abilities, job abilities. It's called mana something. You can cast all you want with no. It doesn't use your mana.
Right?
Maybe if we hit him. If we hit him.
Oh, I have a very effective.
There we go.
Didn't know I had.
Oh, you do? Nice.
Sure,
All right, I'm gonna rest.
Benediction. It's a, I guess, white mage job ability.
Oh, yep. That's your 2-hour.
So, can you get back, Martha, or do we need to head back that way?
We got way off of the MMO topic, huh?
Yeah, doesn't take long to go into a.
Yeah, welcome to a Pantheon Plus stream. Oh, I'm sorry. Shep said, hey, by the way, rednecks drink Bush.
Yeah, man. Come on now. Wife beaters drink Budweiser. Well, that's a subcategory of redneck. It's a subcategory.
See, what we need to do is we need to have like a I want to have Winter on interview. If Interviews with Minus comes back.
Oh, Lord.
I want to have Winter on to tell her stories behind the scenes that she's had to deal with. Like, I want to hear about the puppets.
She would. Winter doesn't hold back, so that would be a good interview. You guys would hear some stuff I never intended for you to hear.
What's up, Stands in Fire? Stands in Fire's here. He asked, where does PBR fit into this mix?
Hey, PBR is just cool. That's punk rock. PBR is awesome.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
So
PBR.
When I was a kid, you know what the beer of choice was? It was a horrible beer, but man, it was cheap and it knocked you on your ass. was Milwaukee's best
Oh,
ice.
The
Ice.
Beast, Milwaukee's Beast.
The
Yeah.
Beast Ice, baby. Yeah.
Yep. That was what
24
I
bucks
drank.
for 24 cans.
Yep. That was like high school. You're not supposed to be drinking,
We killing this.
Milwaukee's Beast.
We're eyeing up that sapling, bro. I was ready.
Nah, we're gonna go back and help him because he'll get murdered by all the orcs and everything trying to get back.
Yeah, so here's talking about the diet. So I've had a lot of people like message me so I'm not a big Facebook guy. I'm actually not a fan of it at all, but I have a daughter, so picture sharing with family, it's the easiest way. So I don't use it much. So what I use it for is a self-accountability. I post every day the number of the day that I've been focused on working out, and then I put my weight, my body fat, and I put my workout that I did. And the days that I skip, I hold myself accountable on there. And so a lot of people have reached out and said, what are you doing? What's your workout? And everyone's like, no, because I cut dairy.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, nope, not going to cut cheese.
Yep.
Is the stream lagging for people all of a sudden?
You just
Yeah.
said cut.
Yeah, it's something got choppy.
Oh, Sarah said nope. Yeah, so, and here's the worst part about cutting cheese. Nathan's laughing. I grew up, my dad either managed, owned, or worked at like bakery sections of pizza places. So growing up as a kid, it was very common for me to have pizza 5 days a night. And we would go to 5 days a week, I'm sorry. We would go to mom and pop pizza places anywhere in the country we would go. That was our goal. Like just find a mom and pop, try the pizza. So it's been really rough to not have pizza. I had pizza once. My only cheat day I scheduled for myself was pizza. And it was St. Louis, I think, or Illinois, again, one or the other. It was it's called Rossetti's, and there's one down here in Florida. It's pretty good.
Oh God, in Florida. So I spent like a year or two, about 2 years in Florida. So are you anywhere near Melbourne?
I don't think so. I'm on Gulf Coast by Estero, Fort Myers.
So yeah, I was in Melbourne, which was just south of Cocoa Beach. And there's a place there called the Pizza Gallery. Oh my God. Like if you want good pizza.
There is my favorite that I've had was, so when I first moved here, I was up in St. Pete, and there was a pizza place called Slice. It's a bar pizza. You've had it, Micah? Or
no.
Okay, so
No.
It's crazy. Like you just custom make them, and they have these bent pizza pans, like pizza trays, like the metal pizza trays. They bend them so they can put one pizza on one part of it and another half of a pizza on the other. And that place is ridiculous, and great beer, tons of craft beer, stuff like that. So,
Well, Pizza Gallery, it's all you make your own.
did we just rezone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he had already made it here. Turns out that Mirth is a badass and didn't need our help.
Yeah, Pizza Gallery, you choose your crust, you choose your sauce,
I'm a built-in thief.
Elisera, I actually lived in Bradenton as well, right across from the Pirates Stadium for a bit. That's crazy. How long ago was that? Oh my God, Bronson goes, let's hope Pantheon has a /pizza option. Do you remember that?
Please have a pizza option, please. I don't even care if it's the crappiest pizza. Have something for us. Doesn't have to be a particular brand.
Oh, /pizza. I mean, this day and age, Domino's would be all about it.
Yeah, they should do it. You know what? Somebody needs to get that. Go on Reddit and get that in the questions to Brad coming up. Somebody, please.
What pizza company will you be partnering with for /pizza?
Yeah, don't ask him if he's going to. Ask what company. Assume he's doing. He's got to do it. They had it in EverQuest too. I think I might be wrong, but I think they had it in it too for a long time.
That's funny. You have Protect yet? Mirth?
I do.
I'm almost level 4 again.
Oh my gosh, you've de-leveled more than you've leveled?
No, I'm joking. I needed another 100 experience before I'm level 5 again.
Okay.
There, I got protect on you.
So there's a
Protects
good
level
topic.
7
We have a
spell.
lot of Pantheon fans in chat right now, so let's throw this out there and you guys jump in. What is, and I did a whole video on this, so everyone that's watched it knows my opinion. But death. What is I think we'd all agree that we want a penalty.
Whoa, we got. I didn't know these aggroed.
So they don't like when you're killing their friends. What experience penalty do you want to see? Like, how would you set up the Pantheon death penalty? What do you think, guys?
Sorry. So what? How do I want them to do it? Was that
Like,
the
what do you
question?
want to happen when you die? Like, what's
I want to have to recover my gear on my corpse.
Okay, that's what's important.
I think
You
that's what's
want to
important.
have to recover your gear?
I do, because I want to be scared to die. So, I'll be okay with an experience loss, and you can go back to your body to get some of it back. That would be cool too. But I think you should have to return to your body, or I would be cool with going into a totally different direction, like Ultima Online did, where you become a ghost, and as a ghost, you have to go find somebody to res you. And what was funny about UO, for those who didn't play, is when you tried to talk as a ghost, it would translate to everybody who could hear you to ooh, like a bunch of O's up and down, like lowercase, uppercase. They couldn't hear you because you were a ghost. It was awesome.
I think it depends on the content, because having to run back to your corpse sometimes, especially if you have like extremely long content, like I could not imagine having to do a corpse run in like Dynamis constantly every time you died or something like that here. It just seems like I don't know. Experience loss for me is enough. It's because that could be pretty bad.
Just a quick shout out real quick. Pack Attack jumped in. What's up, man? How are you? So let me read through some of what they're saying here. There's a lot of people. So Iron Shep said no D level.
Yeah.
Surfer Dave says, I want it to mean something in between Vanguard and EQ. Alicera said no XP loss. That's who said how they did it in EQ OA. You ended up owing XP. I'm gonna stop there. I want EXP debt, not de-leveling.
Yeah,
so you
I'm
get
down with
stuck
that.
in a level more than getting de-leveled. You can, if you're dumb or you really push the button or push the edge of the envelope there, then you may end up creating a hell level for yourself.
But hang on, in chat, Live It Up said D-level has to happen, otherwise experience loss at max level means nothing. What about that?
So I've been presented that a few times because my argument in the video was for XP debt. So that's the first thing a lot of people have said to me. So yes, you're right. However, if there are AA or constant leveling, then it looks like we might have lost the stream right there.
Oh no. Really?
It says there was a network error. Please try again. Oh, it's back up.
Okay, cool.
Okay, good. It might just be for me because I'm using 65,000 bits to stream this. So I'm not leaving a ton for myself. So it's probably just me trying to watch. Having the video pulled up is just causing extra damage to my...
So what were you saying now?
So I was saying if there is an AA or some kind of continuous leveling, which I'm praying for, then it will matter. The debt will still matter because you'll constantly be getting those levels and you'll constantly have debt. So if there is a progression past max level of becoming stronger, then that debt will still matter.
Yeah, true.
So that
And I like that idea. What if the experience debt just went to an alt?
well, if you never play an alt, then you're just dying all the time. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, if you ever decide to, man, the experience debt you're gonna have.
Here's my
What
thing.
about-
MMOs need to constantly be able to become more powerful by the time you put in. You have to.
But then you have a ridiculous power creep, wouldn't you, for the people who no life it? Wouldn't they
Sure.
have like this gargantuan advantage? And is that fair? That's always the thing. I think it is fair
It's a PvE
because they
game.
put in a ton of time. You
It's
know.
a PvE game.
But I see why people wouldn't like it. Like, okay, how would you like it if there was a group of people who could one shot like solo.
That's
A raid
that's a
boss.
little crazy.
Well, I'm just saying, man, that WoW episode of from South Park, dude, it could become a reality.
What do you think
In
about?
EverQuest, a mage could summon armor, and I like the fact that you lost your gear, and a mage could summon your gear to get you back to your corpse.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would
You
like
had to work
that.
with people. Yeah.
So I came up with this insane concept in my video for that. What if instead of, so remember how they talked about like having gear and like there'll be more meaningful things to do with it,
Yeah.
right? So what if you could sacrifice it to some kind of soul vendor and you can have your soul equipped? So you could have one set of gear created that when you die, you have it on you for X amount of time, so you can recover your corpse. It also removes it from the game. It becomes a sync of some sort. And you could basically go to some kind of soul vendor that could forge that gear to your soul.
Okay.
So when
Or
you're
as
running
you
back, you'd have a
level with
backup
it,
set.
as you will level with it, you attune yourself with it, and then it becomes that.
What game had that? Arcade? Some game had gear. If you kept it on you, you leveled it. And
I
then
like
you
that
could-
idea.
Then you could sacrifice it. And if it was max attunement, what was that? You know, Nathan.
Now you could attune in Final Fantasy 14 your gear, and
Maybe
it
that
took
was
a
it.
while.
And then when you broke it down, you got gems, and it was
You broke
better
it
if
down,
was
you got
fully
good
attuned.
stuff. That's
Yep,
what
yep,
you're
okay,
thinking
Final
of.
Fantasy 14.
Yep.
I like the idea of level your gear leveling. That way, when you got something better or say new, it might be technically somewhat weaker initially because you leveled your other gear.
I would
Oh,
love
what
to
if-
see a solid gear leveling system.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Because
Live It
that's a
Up
good
had a
way to
good
keep it.
point. In chat said the experience debt that enforces a permanent penalty until the debt is repaid for max level. So like you got a speed debuff or you get a a random until you pay off that debt. I like that because that means if you died a bunch of times doing a raid, you might have to go back out into the world and level up some more. Like get back into parties at
Can you
know,
imagine? How am I only level 10? I leveled up. Is
I
that were
really
those
like that idea.
deaths that
Oh, it was
intense?
so hard. My bad.
Were the deaths that we had that intense? I leveled. I must have de-leveled. Wow, I didn't realize how little experience. This game is hardcore.
We're getting like no experience at all, hardly. We're just playing for the fun of it,
Yeah,
basically.
If we were all around the same level, or even level synced, we'd probably be getting hundreds of experience per kill instead of 20.
And Live It Up said that idea was kind of a play on Zoltar's idea.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Zotar. My bad.
No, so VR, from my understanding, Nathan, you can either correct me here or back me up. So their original talk was that they were going to have corpse runs, and we've seen it in videos, right? They respawn with no gear on. But they said that it's not set in stone.
Right.
That they haven't
wanna
fully
test it.
fleshed out what death will look like yet, at least officially. So in streams, they die and they have no gear on, and they go back to their bind point.
Right. Or they cheat and just get their gear back, depending on how much time they have.
Yeah. I think that they've done that in almost every stream. I don't think any of them have ever been.
Now they did say that for the people who are the official Pantheon streamers, that they're going to allow them to have no penalty to death. I'm just joking.
Ever.
I was like, time to become an official streamer. I also like post level cap leveling, where, like in this game, you have merits that you gain.
I
Oh
swear.
my god, what happened? What
I
happened?
swear.
Were y'all
What
too
killed
close? Was it an AoE?
How did
He
they
does
die?
do
Never
that.
gonna stay
Look
level
how far
5.
away they are. This sapling is
I wouldn't have thought it would have hit him that far. I'm sorry. I should have turned it. I guess I
It
didn't.
shouldn't have. Well,
Was it a frontal? Oh, you're a bad tank.
no, that was an
Yeah, my
AOE
bad.
completely random.
Just kidding.
It's a circle AoE.
Well, my headset
Res me
fell
minus, res me.
Dang, that sucks, guys.
There we go.
They have less experience than they did when we started at this point.
Well, at least they're getting the
I
full
really
Final
do.
Fantasy 11 experience.
Yeah, it's all. We're just doing this for fun, guys.
No, Bronson, we have no reses at this level, so it's like massive, painful runbacks. Outstanding.
What level do you even get raised? Let's see. At raise, you get at 25 as a white mage, 35 as a scholar, 38 as a red mage, and 50 as a paladin.
Wow. 25.
So in the future, just so you guys do know,
Should we
we're
go
probably going
back?
to play one more week of this at minimum. Probably one more week. So we'll play again next week. But I am going to get a few weeks in of Monster Hunter because it's my favorite game.
I was about to say Minus is trying to get his Monster Hunter World in,
Yeah,
which I bought per your recommendation.
I am such a huge fan of Monster Hunter World. Now, let me give everybody a quick heads up. Number one, it's on sale 50% off on Steam. Go buy it. Number two, I have gotten about 7 people into that game who actively played it. All 7, and I'm not joking you, messaged me about 20 minutes after playing the game for the first time, telling me it was the worst game they've ever played. Why did you make me buy this? This game sucks. Then they'll play with me for a bit because the game doesn't teach you anything. So they'll play with me for a bit and then learn the game because I've played a lot of them. And within a night or two, they love it. And it's one of their favorite games ever. And that's happened with literally, I'm not even kidding you, about 7 people. So the biggest thing about that game is if you do give it a shot, look me up. I'll play a couple times with you. Just hit me up because I love the game, and you will absolutely
Help!
love it.
Ah, come back! Help!
It is. Hey, what's up, Wizen? It is a game unlike anything I've ever played. The gear progression is outstanding. The epicness never wears off. Never. It never wears off in that game. It is always epic when you're fighting a massive, badass monster. And the weapons that play in the game are like a complete class because they play so differently from one another. There's not even, like, if you play blades, dual blades, and then you jump to a hammer, it's like playing a brand new game. That's how different and difficult it is to learn the weapons. The game's just absolutely phenomenal, and it's without a doubt my favorite game currently. So I definitely want to get some streams.
Skeleton there, guys.
Cyrilin, he's talking Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, Monster Hunter 1. Again, it's very. All of us that are here, we want Pantheon to not hold our hands, right? We don't want Pantheon to have like an introduction level. A lot of people. If you like that style of game, and I'm not talking Demon Souls, I really don't include Demon Souls in that. That game's hard, Twitch hard, in a sense. This game just doesn't care that you've never played before. And you're weak. You're weak as hell fighting these monsters until you start getting gear and start understanding how to farm for it and skinning and putting these sets of gear together and how they work. It's just phenomenal. Darkest Dungeon. That has been on my wish list for Steam for ages. And I've never bought it.
You
ever
haven't done
play
the
that,
Monster
Micah?
Hunter World crossover at 14 yet, have you?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, in Monster Hunter World, you had to fight Behemoth.
Yeah, and then they brought, I don't know what the mob's name is that they brought over, but they brought something over, and you have the potion that you have to drink to heal yourself, and you skin it at the end and everything.
All right, let's see where they're at. Okay, they're coming down, so we can.
I died again. I hate this game.
So what we're gonna do in between the next, we're gonna get you on par with us, so this will be much more enjoyable.
Yeah. If we can get you to level 10, it's going to be, the survivability is going to be a lot higher.
Yeah.
So, Arthan said, I thought VR was actually going to go the Monster Hunter route with getting attuned to the environment, having gear for different weathers and such. I got to tell you, I don't like crafting. The whole Monster Hunter game is crafting, and it's done so well. And I'm going to go into detail on that a little bit. So I'm not someone who needs to understand the realism of every single part of an MMO. Like, why does a rat drop a treasure chest? Whatever.
Right.
But the one thing that I don't understand, in EQ back in the day, you would see a mob wearing the weapon when you were killing it. So it was like cool, right? And you'd see it proccing. So kind of knew they were using it. And that was awesome. And in games like WoW never had anything like that. And you kind of wonder, like, why is this demon from Legion, the king demon of the world, dropping these cloth boots for wizards? So I always thought it very interesting that they had these tables of gear for classes, right? I would prefer that everything you kill drops a specific piece, and those pieces are used to combine and make the gear you want. It just makes more sense to me. You go kill a giant goat, you collect its horn. You go kill a demon, you collect its demonic blood. And these things are collected through the game to make your gear, and that's how gear should work. And then when you make a piece of gear, that gear has a tree line of being able to make it fire resistant. It goes up into that tree, and then if you want it again, you got to go back and make the original one and take it down a different tree. And that's exactly how, Monster Hunter works. You start with weapons either being bone or ore based, like metals. And then they have paths, and you go kill different you go kill a poison monster, you can take it down a poison path. And it's absolutely phenomenal with building and feeling strength and having a reason to go farm a mob because you need its rare piece drops. And it's a little further in depth with a game like Monster Hunter. It wouldn't be in an MMO, but
we're gonna have to run. We got a lot of stuff on us.
I'm running through here. So if you needed in Monster Hunter, if you need the tail, so if you have to collect a piece off of a tail of something, you have a very limited shot, and if you kill the monster or capture the monster, you could get that piece. Or if you have a bladed person with you, that bladed person can cut their tail off and give you a chance to skin the tail as an individual piece. And if that happens, you have a much higher chance of getting that item. I love stuff like that. Like, if you need to collect the horns off of a Diablos, you have to break the horns. So a bladed person's not going to be useful, but someone who uses a hammer or a blunt weapon can literally break the horns off of their face. And if you do, now you're going to have a chance of getting that when you kill it. I just love stuff like that. It creates a lot more intricacy in the fight. Bronson says, come on, Minus, you're talking crazy. Logic? Never. Bronson says, Pantheon's going Battle Royale. That's going to be what they announce on the Classic WoW podcast. Wizen says, shrug, why do snakes kick?
Yeah, exactly. Why do snakes kick? And what does that look like? Because we didn't see the animation for it.
Yeah.
I want to see the animation of the snake kicking.
Oh my gosh, the snake kicks you for 1 damage. That was out in the gates of East Freeport, man.
Or Kinos. I'm running these mobs all the way. I don't know what happens in this game when I zone mobs. Do they come after you guys?
Only if they have any enmity on them.
Okay.
So great point here by Wizen. The crafting variety, I'll grant you, is top notch, but the crafting itself is just a menu, WoW style, where you just choose from the options available, provided you have the mats. Wait a second, boom, you have the item. Monster Hunter is a sweet ass game that does center on crafting, but I wouldn't say the crafting is a strength per se. 100%, because it's not an MMO. As much as we want it to be, and it has this depth and replay value, it's not an MMO. It's a 4-player game, action game, right? So yeah, I completely agree with you. I would expect an MMO where you have to actually go in and learn these recipes, and you have to skill up and stuff like that, which is really what Monster Hunter is missing in that package. Bronson said, snakes with armpits. Tetsu says, snakes should have only dropped one boot. If snakes dropped boots in EQ,
one boot, you have to get the other one, or else you can't wear
you have to combine them. You have to get one of each, a right and a left, and right click it to combine them into an item.
That would be an awesome little Easter egg for them to throw in.
Oh my gosh, we have to, Nathan, remember that. We have to send that off. Guys, please do this quest line where you have to kill snakes for a right and left boot and right click it to turn them into an actual set of boots.
That's awesome.
Oh man, outstanding. But yeah, if
All right,
anybody gets
guys.
Monster Hunter, hit me up. I'm open Twitter DMs and you can find me on Discord pretty easily.
How many people can be in a group in that game? Is it 4?
4.
I think.
And here's the other thing too. So grouping, nightmarish. The system, until you understand it, is nightmarish. If you're not far enough in your story, you can't join a quest, and someone can't join your quest until you've seen the cutscene. So there's these little weird perks, little weird things that happen that do make it a little difficult at first, but once you get through the story, it's really wide open with your hunter level and stuff like that. And then, like, not only do you have like low rank monsters you'll fight, you'll then fight them in a high rank mode where they're way harder and it'll open up different monsters. And then it brings up well, I can't believe I can't remember what they're called because I do it all the time. That's all I do now. But there's these purple monsters. It's the same monsters in a purple variety. It makes them enraged. And in certain times in fights, if you get them mad or certain environments that they're in, they become enraged. And when they're enraged, their skill sets move up, or maybe some abilities used a lot more often. And they are basically just permanently enraged. So there's a lot of really cool things like that. Yes.
How do you play it? Do you play it with the keyboard or do you play the controller?
Controller, 100%. I think Haya uses a keyboard, and he's pretty good, if I'm going to be honest with you. But the game is, without a doubt, designed for controller. And Wizen just said that too. Learn your controller if you're going to play the game. Keyboard's very awkward for the range weapons. Yes, very much. I started the game learning bow. It's an easier class to learn for being able to attack and stay away from enemies, but you are squishy as hell. As you get to the higher ranks, like, you literally get one shot if you misjudge a mechanic. And the way the game works is if you're playing, so if you go out on a mission, a typical mission will allow you to have 3 deaths. You might have 4 people in the party. So if someone dies, they can run back to the fight. But if you go random and you grab somebody randomly, that person might not be that good or know the fights, and they'll die all 3 times and kill your party. And it might happen in the 40th minute of a battle. You've been fighting a single monster for 40 minutes, and this guy dies 3 times and kills and cancels the mission. You're like,
oh man.
And there's harder missions where you're only allowed 1 death, stuff like that. So it gets, the teamwork's very important. Taking it slow is very important, which is where sometimes I get in trouble.
And does it begin to feel like a raid?
Every fight feels like a raid boss.
Cool.
Every fight from the beginning of the game on, you have to learn the monsters.
Right.
And you'll play through it and you'll gear up a bit and you'll remember fighting an enemy that was so hard, and you go in and you have no fear of it. That's a really cool part of it. And once you have no fear of a mob and you're willing to be in full attack mode, the fights don't last as long. But when you're learning a fight, you're terrified because that one misstep can kill you.
Right.
Yeah, I picked it up with the Steam sale, which I didn't know there was a Steam sale, and those are always so painful.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of money on games I don't play.
I want to get the what's that new one that just came out? It's on my list. I'm gonna buy it. Oh crap! The one with all the rats where you're in plague-ridden France. A Plague's Tale.
Oh, right.
Plague's Tale, yeah.
Sorry, guys. I know it's not super exciting looking at me just watching stuff in the game, but hopefully the chat's been interesting enough. Obviously, you guys can tell this game's pretty rough because we've gotten our ass kicked all night.
Yeah, it's a rough game, man. If we were all the same level, it wouldn't be this bad, but we would still be running into a lot of problems.
I was going to say we should
fight. I'll just level over here.
I was going to say we should do a Juno run, but I'm not sure how many of us would make it.
Yeah, that would be
like
fun.
Switch back to level 1 jobs and then do a Juno run.
That sounds like death.
That was actually the most exciting. I remember when I first started playing this game back in the early 2000s. the first time I made it to Juneau was a crazy experience because I always heard about this hub city
Yeah.
and everything, and it's so dangerous to get there. And you felt like I remember getting there and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I got super excited, and I'm just like dancing to myself in my chair. And I'm just like, I can't believe I made it to Juneau finally.
Now, when you went, did you say you were at level like that? You went there yourself, or did you go early?
I went early. Like I was like probably level. I was still the teens in
Right.
the level. So yeah, it was like where you could run through Jugner and aggro everything. Still.
Remember on your way there, those I don't remember what the mob is actually called, but they look like panthers.
Black
Those were-
tigers, I think.
Yeah, those were scary on your way there when you were under leveled.
Yeah, especially that was when they still had the huge aggro range, so like everything aggroed.
Yeah.
Sterling just brought up how fun it was in the old games to have that long run. The
Yeah.
one that I will always remember is the run through Butcher Block to get across the world through the boat. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
And then the other one was, so in WoW I played Alliance, and if you made a Night Elf, you had to run your way to Stormwind. You had to go back through like the Dwarven area and the Frost areas, and you go through that spider cave to get into the wetlands. Oh man, was that a run and a half. Are you guys still in that pass zone?
No, I just got here. Mirth's not here yet.
He said that he'll just level by himself in the other zone. I can heal.
Okay. I'm gonna start pulling then.
All right, let's
Well,
go. We
no,
got about
not.
15
Let me
minutes left.
rest for just a second. Yeah.
Scariest mob in EQ, Bronson asked. That's a good question.
For me, you know, I gotta say this. What scared me the most, what was that in Karana with the giant spiders walking around, and you're like a nothing. You know what I mean? Your level's so low. Do you know what I'm talking about? And they're just like wandering through.
Wizen just said the Griffin in EK. East Karana.
Oh yeah, true.
The first time I saw giants.
Oh, giants. Yeah, true.
Hill giants and sand giants.
True.
You know what was scary? Do you remember in Oasis there was that island temple, and there were all those reapers around the top of it? Those were the scariest damn mobs ever.
That's a good one.
I remember seeing those until the day we could actually go fight and pull those. The level, those things were terrifying.
Yeah, and it would feel like you would never be powerful enough to fight something like that.
Yeah, the specters, Cerulean said. Yeah, the specters were cool. Dark Elf Camp and Lesser Fey Dark near Mistmore. How about trains to the entrance of Lower Guck? Can that count?
I'm gonna rest for a second because Micah's mana's a little low.
Alright. Yeah, dude, the trains to the Lower Guck top. That was the scariest. How about we came across it when we played EQ. How about when you're in Lower Guck and you're going around the corner where all those Icebone skeletons are, and they're stacked up by like 5, and you knew someone was gonna pull them. Oh, brownies. The brownies, yeah, man. Shep said the brownies and Elfay. Yep. Oh man, I forgot about them. Little tiny guys.
Look how far back winter is now. She's like, I'm not getting hit by that AoE again.
Live It Up said, the brownies, he goes, you never saw them. All of a sudden you were snared and loaded up with dots.
Yeah.
Did anybody, not a scary mob, but one of the most iconic mobs to me, do you guys remember the Hermit? Did anybody farm the Hermit? He was in a building in the middle of one of visit the Karanas. And if you went and sat near the wall, he'd come out of the house to try to kill you, and you could farm him for experience.
Yeah, wasn't that? Well, didn't they talk about the Hermit in a Pantheon type interview where
It was
they
in
were saying,
Quanos,
like,
yes. Quanos area,
where
yep.
they were talking about like that and like why was he there? You know, like
You could only pull him with like being buggy by sitting by the wall. Couldn't get into the house any other way. But yeah, I farmed the hell out of him. I mean, the ones I remember most is farming him, farming the clockwork spiders in front of Steamfront, farming Watchman Halve by snare kiting him, farming the Kara Island cats, which killed me on sight because I killed so much of them. And then a lot of, even Haya didn't know about this one, but in Freeport, there was a bar that you could go into, and there was this female bard, and she couldn't run across the carpet. So you could kite her around the carpet, like by running side to side, and she'd have to walk all the way back around the carpet. And I farmed the hell out of that forever. And then one day they made her so if she did get to you, she one-shot you. So you just had to be really smart and take your time with it. But man, the experience is crazy. Somebody said farming AVX while waiting for split paw groups to open up.
I used to do something similar to this with Red Mage, because you just dot something up and then you'd run it around a lake, kill it. There's a few notorious monsters that you could do that with. No one else could solo but a Red Mage.
yeah, we're going to move up. Just ran pretty far. I don't see anything.
That's it, guys. We beat the game. It took us
We win. Good
tons
job.
of running back. We've earned about 2% experience, if we're not negative. But we've officially beat the game.
All the mobs are dead.
Watch out for that skeleton.
Where is he?
I don't know.
Didn't see him. Okay, you
I
freaked me
didn't
out.
see him either.
It's daytime. There's no skeletons out in daytime.
What is that named bird thing?
He will kick our ass.
Is
A baba.
that a name?
No, it's not named. That's just what they're called. But he will slaughter us.
There's certain mobs in Final Fantasy that are so. Yeah, Sterling said, "Cue the victory theme music."
Yeah.
Like even, so for people watching right now, like my camera's fixed, right, and you have the screen at the bottom. You can't really see, unfortunately, the menu system because I have it cut down so it fits better. But on the left, I have the little menu box, just like playing Final Fantasy turn-based games. I mean, yes, if you were to pick this game up right now, you would go through the experience that we went through where like this game controls like garbage because it doesn't play like any other MMO. But when you get used to it and you respect the fact that, okay, I see what they were trying to do, it's inventive.
Yeah, it's cool.
And imagine there's a lot of macroing in endgame. Is that true?
Oh yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
Every
you
little
bet.
thing is
You have to set reminders for yourself on that, like macros, to let you know when your abilities are ready to be used. Like, because it doesn't tell you that.
Would
There's a
you
lot that
argue
has to
that
do
maybe
with
this game
mobs.
was even more hardcore than EQ?
Okay, that depends on how you look at it. When this game launched versus EQ, how it was when this game launched, maybe. But
There was
game,
way less ability to solo in this game than it was in EQ.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Well, Beastmaster could solo, and that was about it at launch. And that was it, actually, not about it. Beastmaster
For what?
for a long time was the only thing you could solo with.
For EQ?
No, for this game.
This game has. I didn't even know they had Beastmaster.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Beastmaster's pretty badass in this game.
yeah.
Is that like the
You
hunter in this game?
You can charm any animal in the field and use it to fight for you.
So it was like that's in the main class that's soloed, and EQ was an enchanter for charming.
Later on, they came out with more soloable jobs in this game. Like Puppet Master was a solo job. Dancer could solo fairly easy. Stuff like that.
I'll tell you though, live it up. When we did our 4-week stream, and we are going to go back and play more EQ, so
Cool.
that's a guarantee.
Cool.
We'll have to see when, but we're definitely going to do it. I definitely wants to. I know a lot of people who played it want to. I got to tell you, I had an absolute blast the 4 weeks we streamed that game.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
There was probably a lot of nostalgia, if I'm going to be fair. Like seeing City of Mist. When we went to Lower Gok, I felt like I was back in high school because it's been so long since I've seen that. So there were definitely moments of like doing things that just were so cool because I remembered it. But I had a lot of time. I had a lot of fun playing
that. How far back Winter stays on these is cracking me up.
I don't even know how you guys take damage. I never take damage. Like, what is that? Why don't I take damage ever? And you guys are taking it.
Because your healer was always healing you.
Is it my evasion skills? Is that helping?
It's because you're a thief, dude. You just dodge it.
I have evasion.
Evasion is crazy in this game.
But
it keeps you from taking damage.
Can it avoid any types of damage?
Check that orc over there. Hang on.
You can't avoid magic damage because that's magic evasion, which is a different stat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I think what this game did well to survive in that era is that they didn't go after getting the EQ people to quit EQ to play Final Fantasy. They made the game a controller-based game because it could lure the console crowd in. And that's kind of, in my opinion, what even pressured EverQuest to make the console version.
Yeah.
So, you know, somebody was talking about just the way they designed the game, and someone else said, well, it was designed for the Japanese audience, and that audience uses gamepads, which is true. But I do think that it was a smart idea to take an entire crowd of gamers, which were console gaming back then was huge, and none of those people that were pure console gamers were playing MMOs. So,
yeah, a lot of them hadn't even heard of MMOs yet, you know, console-only gamers, you know.
Yeah, they made the Final Fantasy people. I mean, and going online to play this on a console was not cheap. You had to buy the game, you had to get the sub, you had to get the Ethernet adapter.
Yep.
Did you have to have the hard drive?
Yep. Well, didn't it come with it was like a play online package, I think, and it came with the hard drive and the...
Yeah, how expensive was this game when it came out? It was like $100?
I think it was more than that, dude. I think to get everything for PS2 players, I think it was like 175.
Then they made that crazy controller too. The keyboard in the middle of it.
Oh yeah, I used one of those when I played this game on 360.
That's true. That's so funny. Tetsu said a lot of fans were really upset because they had no idea what they'd gotten into. I remember that.
I do too. People are actually like, "What is going on? What are you guys doing?" And you know, I got to agree with one thing about all the people back then. This should not have been called Final Fantasy 11, and Final Fantasy 14 should not be called Final Fantasy 14.
It should be called like Final Fantasy Online 1, Final Fantasy Online 2.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, keep the series a separate. That's a great
point. Because online games don't last forever. You know, they got servers, etc. And so at some point in our life, there won't be a Final Fantasy 11. You know, there won't be one.
Well, I honestly think that's going to be the big 3-year announcement. I think they're going to do a
single player.
A single player version.
They talked about it for years, so that would be cool.
Well, they just had a survey a couple years ago to ask, what do you want to see? And
we're about to wrap up. Final Fantasy wise, what's everyone's opinions on the remake of 7?
7 is my least favorite game because I think it was overhyped. I think the graphics suck. I think Cloud was a just annoying little emo, and I think Sephiroth was just a dude with mommy issues and a big sword.
I might have to back a little bit.
But at the same time, it looks pretty badass. So
oh crap! Move back! We got to. I don't know how hard they are though.
You got him.
I'm gonna try to kill this mesmerizer first because he's gonna do more damage.
To you then?
Yeah. I think we're gonna be all right. Maybe if we get, as long as we get some heals, I think we'll be fine.
I'm gonna throw out my ability on him.
Oh my god! I'm not even.
We definitely gonna need some help on this mesmer. You're holding up okay. So 8's my least favorite. I like 7. Here's my problem with 7's remake. I hate it. I won't play it.
We're not gonna make it.
7.
Move back, Winter. Move back.
I love.
Oh,
Seven.
does she have something on her? Does Winter have something on her?
I don't know. I'm waiting for
I don't
you
think
to die
so,
here. This
no.
guy's almost dead.
No, it was she got hit by the AoE.
Yeah,
But I
This
am out of
Mezzer's
MP to heal.
the one of them's down, but I'm almost down too.
Do you have any class ability to use or anything?
No.
Oh, did I steal
I
aggro?
used it
Let
earlier.
me take it.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Oh, he's back on me.
Go out. Go away. Back up. Ah, crap.
No! Oh, he missed. He missed me. We're gonna kite him. Oh, it didn't work.
I have perfect dodge on, so if you can damage him.
Maybe you can finish him. The stream's
Oh
almost
my
over.
God.
Might as well end
I
with
just
the
got
death.
killed by him with perfect dodge on.
Yeah.
He hit me for 44.
So much for perfect.
And me and Winter survived.
Good job.
Well, there you go. That's a good way to end the stream. With
So
my
there you go. That's
body.
Final Fantasy 11. That's a
Playing
pretty good reenactment of what my life was like back then.
I haven't played a lot of the new Final Fantasies. When I look at when I look at RPGs back then, my favorite was Suikoden 2.
So good.
Suikoden 2, whatever you want to call it.
You're right.
And then Xenogears are my two favorite.
Now, hang on a second. I've been dying to ask you this question. I always forget to ask you every time we talk. Did you play, and I don't mean like recently or after the fact, but when it was in its prime, did you play Chrono Trigger?
Not in
At
its
that
prime,
time.
but I went back and played it.
Such a good game, dude. That
Yeah,
was
great game.
amazing.
Great game. No, I did not get to play it when it was popular because I really, even though Final Fantasy VII isn't one of my favorites, it is a favorite, but isn't my favorite. That was the game that turned me on, and I went back and played a lot after that. Like I played Final Fantasy 1, but I played like every NES game. So
Yeah.
right, guys. So first and foremost, Micah, thank you for hosting us and kind of showing us what's going on and helping us get set up and giving us some goals. We will play again next week, so hopefully we can get everybody caught up to level 10, and I think that'll make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
And then we can give it another run and see what we can do. Absolute fun chatting with you guys as always. Winter, thank you for joining us. It's your first one with us. Was it scary?
Yeah. Yes. I'm glad I was on mute most of the time. I was like screaming.
See, that's the kind of stuff that brings a lot of excitement to the stream. You gotta let that out.
Well,
I'll get you back to
A
town.
little
Just do
dramatic.
follow me. Yeah. there
how
you
do
go.
I do that?
Just target me and then hit /follow.
There you go.
That's-
But
Oh.
thank you so much, Mirth.
Thanks.
Thanks for sticking with us. You were with us for EQ and jumped in here, so hopefully we can get you leveled up before next week. Yes, and the biggest takeaway from this is Tetsu said, please do not forget to bring up the one booted snake. to
Yeah.
Brad."
Oh, that's getting brought up many times. I'm not
Yeah.
going to drop that.
Yep, that's awesome. So we are getting a few people that are gracious. They said, good stream, had fun being a part. Really do thank you guys for saying that. I know you don't have to. It really does mean something to me personally to know that you guys are enjoying this. I'm not your typical streamer, I don't think. And I don't say that as a negative. I'd say that as I'm kind of a rookie. I don't really sit here and over talk like what's going on in the game, so to speak. I just like to have that sitting on the couch. We've said that a lot with like how me and Haya make videos. And when we stream, we do the same thing. It's like we miss sitting on the couch with a buddy bullshitting over a beer while we play a game. And that's
Yeah.
really what I try very hard to bring to the streams. You guys are sitting on our couch, we're BSing, we're trying to knock the controller out of each other's hands, we're drinking beer, and we're just reminiscing. And that's a lot of what I want to do in streams. I'm definitely looking forward to streaming Pantheon. I want to get everything worked out before then so we don't have the kinks with Twitch and YouTube. We've never had YouTube issues in the past. I have no idea what's going on there. But it's super fun. You guys have been awesome. The chat has lit it up all night. You guys also came over to Twitch. Thank you. Again, Micah, thank you. Nathan, as always, thank you, buddy. You've been a huge part of our community night for a while now, so appreciate that.
Love it.
All right, guys, so next week we're going to get a little more Final Fantasy going. This video will be sent over to YouTube for anyone who wants to watch it. But thank you guys. It's been an awesome stream tonight, and thank you to the chat one more time.
Hey.
And
Before
that's
we
it for me.
leave,
Yeah.
Before we leave, it's confirmed. It sounds like it's confirmed now that Monster Hunter World is coming up after this, after we're done with 11, right?
Yeah, probably. Yep. You
Cool.
gonna get it?
All right. I better get it while it's on sale.
So anybody who wants to be a part of that stream, please let me know. You are going to have to play it a bit before we get into the stream so we can do some content. But I can jump into your missions once you see the cutscene and just wreck you through it because I'm very strong in that game. So anybody who does want to play it, let me know. I will be glad to spend some of my time doing that with you. So Nathan,
It is not on sale.
Did it go off sale?
It is on sale.
It's
oh,
off
well.
sale.
Looks like you're not getting it.
Looks like I'm gonna. See, you should
Sorry,
have told
guys.
her
It
it was
turns
off
out
sale.
it is no longer on sale. That's a bummer. Because I linked it, 2 days ago in the chat?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, if you
you
get it anyway,
promoted
let
it.
me know. Or if you have it. Thank you, guys. It's been awesome. Thanks to everybody one more time, and we'll talk to you next time.